And we are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
NFL season, let's ride, right?
I don't know about all that.
Okay, we'll try that again next week. Hey, welcome everybody to Capping at the Bay. It is great to be back. Uh, NFL season's back. Capping at the Bay's back. I got my boy Patrick Grigsby back here. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Hey, can't complain. Can't complain. Still in Tampa, Florida. You still in Northwest Arkansas, right?
Yes, sir. Walmart country.
Well, hey, I cannot wait for this week one for the NFL regular season. I mean, it, we even got tons of amazing matchups. I mean, we start out with the Bills versus the Rams, the defending Super Bowl champs going against a freaking powerhouse in the Buffalo Bills. I mean, is this like the matchup we're the most excited to see, or I mean, what are your thoughts?
Man, I mean, out of the week one slate, I got it tagged as a game of the week. I think it's going to be. I mean, it brings the most firepower, right? You got defending Super Bowl champs, and then you got, I mean, everybody pretty much has Buffalo as a consensus number one right now. I mean, so it's about as good as it can get. I think the NFC, overall is looking a little weak. So there's a couple teams at the top there, and they picked a pretty good one. So I mean, there's a couple good matchups outside of that. I'm really excited for the Steelers Bengals, kind of see what Trubisky is going to bring to the table. It's been a while since we've seen him. The other good ones, a lot of them is actually most of them are division rivals. So I got the Packers and Vikings tagged. A lot of people are on the Vikings train this year. They think Kirk Cousins is going to do a lot. They do have Jalen Rager now. But
Oh,
no,
oh,
so I think that's
he's
going to be
still
a
in the
good one.
league.
I think they're really going to push. Yeah, right. Yeah, the Eagles got rid of him. But yeah, no. So I think those are going to be really good games, and kind of see where the Packers are at, how Aaron Rodgers is going to do without his weapons. And then they got a battle in the AFC West too. Right off the bat with the Raiders and Chargers. Both of them. Everybody loaded up in the AFC West this year. Somebody's trying to dethrone Mahomes and the Chiefs. So that'll be a good test to see where they're at. That Chargers team's looking pretty scary right now, man. They had a lot of pieces.
Yeah, even the primetime games this week. I mean, we got Bills versus Rams starting us out. Then Sunday night is Bucks versus Cowboys. I'm definitely looking forward to see if Cowboys can pull it out of their butt or if the Bucks still have what it takes to be contenders. Another one,
Right.
which is Broncos versus Seahawks. I mean, yeah, I could see Russell Wilson helping out the Broncos, but I mean, the age nowadays in the NFL, I don't think he's gonna bring the Broncos to a title, possibly division title. I just don't see that happening. The one that I'm most excited about, and it's not even a primetime game, but the Browns versus the Panthers. You got Baker Mayfield. Hey,
Right.
Baker Mayfield and Christian McCaffrey on offense, and then you got Miles Garrett on the other side of them. I I see that just because of the drama that Baker Mayfield built for before he was cut out by the Browns and going to the Panthers. So with that being said, I mean Baker versus who is it? Jacoby Brissett starting? Is it Josh Dobbs? I don't even know,
Yes.
but
Right.
hey,
Right.
no matter what, I think with Baker Mayfield being on the field, something's going to happen. Whether it's a fight, whether it's an upset, I don't care. I'm going to love it. So,
No,
with
yeah,
that
that's gonna
be,
be a good one. Beginning of the Mayfield Revenge Tour.
yeah. With that being said, I mean, me, Grigsby, and a lot of other of us wrestlers, we're in fantasy football. I'm in 4 leagues. Grigsby's in more than one. I'm sure he's what, two, three fantasy
Yeah,
leagues.
I went down to three this year.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I love fantasy football, but I'm gonna lose some money possibly this year. My goal is to make it to the playoffs in all 4 of them, but winning them, I don't see that happening. But anyway, we are going to the next segment, and that is fantasy players. Are they overrated or are they the dark horse in their positions? Grigsby, I heard you got some names. What do you think?
Yeah, for overrated, there's a couple. Their ADP is real high. The Cam Akers, I think, is one that's a little overrated this year. He's coming off that Achilles injury, and that's something that running backs typically don't have the best year of their career after, or even back to the form they were before. Also, there's a lot of talk that he's going to split some time with Henderson. So I know he has a pretty high draft. I know he's in top 5 in a lot of drafts that I was in this year. I don't think he's going to see the touches. They also add a lot of pieces. They have a great receiving core with Cup and Robinson. Stafford's still going to ball out. I just don't see him getting the touches everybody thinks he's going to get. They lost their big left tackle last year. I think their run game is going to take a step backwards. And then the other one I got overrated, which I mean I've seen him go a lot higher. His ADP is about 24 right now, so it's projected in the second round, beginning of the third round. Is Leonard Fournette. He only had like 800 yards last year, and he did have another 400, 500 in passing. I Tampa Bay's got some question marks right now, especially their offensive line with the aging Tom Brady. I know he's Brady's go-to guy. He's still going to get some looks. He's still going to get a lot of check downs. But I don't see him being, and like I said, in the 3 leagues I was in, I think he won the first round in 2 out of the 3. And then he dropped almost all the way to the third or fourth in the other one. So I think once you get past that third, fourth round, he's still available. I think you're increasing that value a little bit. But from what I've seen this year, I don't think he's worth a pick. As far as dark horses, I kind of went all receivers here. And there's a couple I think that are really going to take off. Well, the biggest one I think is Gabriel Davis, and I don't know if that's so much of a dark horse because he's been in the news a lot recently. But I mean, so he's stepping in for Emmanuel Sanders basically as a number 2. I think he's going to step up and fill the role in a big way. Emmanuel Sanders had 74 targets last year, so I mean those targets got to go somewhere. So I think you'll see a big jump with him. I think towards the middle, beginning of the season, after about week 3 or 4, I think you'll see Sky Moore start to really step up. I think he's one that could be a dark horse, possible offensive rookie of the year if he really takes off. It depends how the chemistry works with him, between him and then Juju and MS or MVS. So they got some stuff to share around there too. But he's got a lot of upside. The dude's like a Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's fast. He ran below 4.4, and he's a little bit stouter too. So he breaks a lot of tackles. And the last one, my last dark horse this year is Chris Olave. I really think, I mean, Jameis Winston's not that long ago. He threw for 5,000 yards. That dude's going to be throwing the rock. I think we saw him be a little smarter last year and regress a little bit as far as attempts and touches and everything. Which they got a really balanced team. They got a really great defense. But I think you'll see him start to be the go-to guy towards the end of the season. We'll see how it works out between him and Michael Thomas, but I think he's a really good candidate to really start breaking out, especially towards the middle into the season.
Injuries definitely play a big role, and that's why overrated. I got Travis Etienne as overrated.
Right.
I mean, he was listed as, I believe, top 12 in fantasy predictions for running backs, and for a guy who hasn't had a single snap in the NFL season, regular season, that being, he was drafted last year, never played a snap, and then he's still running back 1 ahead of James Robinson, who actually helped the Jacksonville Jaguars last season. I believe he was top 12 in actual fantasy
Had a
points
monster
and running
season.
backs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he
So,
had a monster season last year. And that's like, it's not going to be a true number 1. It's not going to be like a Jonathan Taylor situation, where he's getting the rock every other play.
no,
Like, I mean,
absolutely
like I
not.
said, Robinson is a damn good running back, dude. He's going to take up a lot of touches there.
Mm-hmm.
What helps at the end though is him and Lawrence have already had a couple years of chemistry, so I think that really will help him out. But again,
Yeah,
I
the
don't think
Clemson
I
boys for
think I
sure.
think you're right on with that one. I don't think he's first round draft value.
Mm-hmm. Now, the dark horse for the quarterbacks, I would have to say Kirk Cousins on this one, just because of everybody's looking at the Justin Herberts and the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, and then once those 3 are being picked, we're not seeing any quarterbacks getting drafted until 6th, 7th round. And I'm just like, I mean, come on,
Right.
guys. Like, Kirk Cousins, who has Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, you even got Irv Smith Jr. as tight end. You got those kind of weapons
Right.
and already thrown for, was it over 3,000 yards every single season? I mean, come on now.
4,000 yards. He has the most. He has
Even
a
better.
current streak of the most 4,000 yard seasons, active streak. So I mean,
Even
yeah,
better.
he's super underrated, man. It's just he can never seem to punch through in the playoffs. But I think I'm hopping. I'm also hopping on the Kirk Cousins train. I think that's going to be big. Like I said, I think the Vikings like they have the path built, and like they've actually split in Lambeau the past couple years too. So Aaron Rodgers doesn't own the Vikings like he owns the Bears. So I mean, this is the Vikings. Like this is their shot. They got a really good chance this year, going pretty deep. They got a new head coach. They got a new administration all the way up. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna do this year.
For sure, for sure. Uh, I'm glad that you mentioned them as far as possible playoff contenders, division winners. The next category we have is division winner predictions, and it's way too early to be talking about it, but I want to talk about it right now, and especially for every single division.
Never too early
And
to talk about football.
but I want to start out with AFC North. I'm sure everybody is riding on the Bengals this year. I'm for sure going for the Steelers, and this is the only reason why. The Bengals had a Cinderella story. They had Joe Burrow looking pretty good, but you also look at the last six of the regular season for them. They had the likes of the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Bills, and even the Browns, which Deshaun Watson is going to be back for that game and already has his weapons like Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper. It's going to be a high scoring game on that one. I don't even know who to pick. You got that going on for you. You also got the Ravens, who Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins are the only people that's going to put up points for them. Rashad Bateman,
You
I
got Mark
can't hop on
Andrews.
that.
Don't forget about Andrews.
Andrews, who dropped that pass to make them lose for this for Ravens against Steelers.
Yeah, that guy.
You can't rely on that guy. Okay, yeah, he's going to be number one in tight ends possibly this year, even ahead of Travis Kelce. But he's not going to get the job done, and especially with weapons like T.J. Watt, Miles Jack. You got the cornerback weapons looking good. The Steelers definitely have a stacked team, a lot better than the Ravens.
But they got a big question mark. So I see a lot of people like I know Dan Orlovsky on ESPN. That's what he predicts. Ravens win the Super Bowl, be the AFC representative. Um, Man, I just don't see it. They like who outside of Mark Andrews, who and Rashad Bateman supposed to take a huge step forward. Like who's Lamar throwing the ball to? So like they have the best rushing attack in the NFL over the past like 3 or 4 years. And they're really good on the ground and they do it well. But I don't know if it's enough to punch a playoff ticket or they'll probably be around in the playoffs. They'll probably be in the hunt. I have the Bengals winning this division. I think they did a really good job of retooling their line. I'm not a huge Joe Burrow fan. I think he did really well down the stretch. The Chiefs had a couple hiccups against them. That's the last time they lost to two teams in the same season in like 10 years. So it's I think they're built. They have the offensive weapons too, man. They're so loaded in weapons. They have one of the best receiving corps. They have one of the best running backs. He's a top 5 back. I mean, they're just loaded. All Joe Burrow has to do is not mess up and make some good throws. And that defense has to step up a little bit. But I do have them winning this division, especially with Deshaun Watson out. The first 11 games. I'm not buying the Ravens hype this year. I just don't see they're just too one dimensional. Too one dimensional. They're not going to be able to move the rock like everybody thinks they will.
No,
And
notice how I
also,
didn't mention the
Lamar
Browns
Jackson
because
just gave
they're
him
not
till this
relevant.
Friday. Right, right. Lamar Jackson just gave him till this Friday to make a deal. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, your division could get a little easier next year too.
We'll definitely see. I'm actually hoping for it. I think they said they have the Steelers at the second toughest schedule this upcoming year. So not looking forward to
Who, the
that. But
Steelers?
The Steelers, the
Steelers who
second
don't
toughest.
leave the Eastern time zone the entire year. Those
Exactly.
Steelers.
Exactly. I believe it's 7,700 as far as the distance traveled. And I'm not.
Yeah, it's significantly less than everybody else. I don't know how how they squeaked that one out, but that is crazy.
But
That's
but
gonna be
just
such
as
an advantage playing
just
all those
as
West
long
Coast
as
teams and everything else.
yeah, just as long as they figure out the offensive line and how to stop the run game, they're gonna be playoff contenders. I'm not going with uh Super Bowl contenders just yet, but we're staying right there. I already got them winning the division. I got them winning 7.5 games. I'm taking that over on that for sure, and I got them making the playoffs because of that. So,
I think they'll be right in there. I got them like 8 or 9 wins, so I think they'll be right there. I think they'll still be a tough team. I mean, their defense is always respectable. They got monsters on both. I mean, they got really great. They probably had the best skilled players they've had in a little while now. So it'll just be it. Literally, the biggest question mark is quarterback.
mm-hmm.
Are they gonna try to ride with Trubisky too long? Or are they gonna give it to Kenny Pickett? Is he gonna perform like he did in the preseason? I mean, I think there's just a lot of question marks there. I think they have the potential to be great as long as they have a serviceable quarterback. They don't have to have you don't have to have a great quarterback. It helps a lot, but I mean, like not that long ago, Garoppolo was in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can do it without the quarterback. It's harder, but it can be done. But I
And
wouldn't
I
put him in that
believe
category.
and I believe that we agree on the NFC side for the division winners. We got the Vikings beating the Packers for the division
I think
title.
so.
We got the Philadelphia Eagles pulling out an upset for the NFC least. Uh, right. We
I
got
don't think it's much
we
of an
got we
upset.
got Eagles in NFC least, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I got the Eagles and the Vikings. That's why, like
Mm-hmm.
I said earlier, man, I think I'm hopping on the Cousins train. He's got weapons on weapons on weapons. The biggest question mark around that whole team, one, how good is their defense going to play? Because last year
Mm-hmm.
they were allowing like 27 points a game or something crazy. So the defense has got to tighten up for that to happen. And also, is Dalvin Cook actually going to make it 17 games? That's that's a big piece there.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as Cook stays healthy, I think it's this year. I think it's their year. Um, we'll see. The Packers are always tough, and Matt LaFleur is the most winning quarterback through the first 3 or 4 seasons ever. So I mean, they're still going to be no joke, for sure. But yeah, I got the Vikings squeaking it out. I think they'll be all right this year. And then yeah, I got the Eagles. Honestly, dude, I got the Eagles as like a top 3 or 4 team in the entire NFC. They're going to be really underrated. But again, it's a big question mark. Both of those teams, the Vikings and Eagles, have like positioned themselves really well to do really well this year. But again, the Eagles is quarterback play. It's not so much running back health. It's Jalen Hurts going to take a step forward. I think if he does what he had like 61% completion percentage last year,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't bad. He is up from the 50s his rookie year. So I mean, he did improve there last year. He's a lot more mobile. So like I said, I think he tightens up his accuracy and some of those late game mistakes. I think they'll be all right. I mean, all he has to do is not mess it up. The
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are loaded this year, offense and defense. They have Jordan Davis in rotation on their D line. That is insane. They picked up Bradbury and then the and Saints corner too last week. I mean, they're loaded. So they're aging too. So they're running out of time. Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, all them are getting old. So we'll see.
I want to fast forward because I know that we definitely got the Buccaneers and the Rams winning their division. We got the Bills winning the AFC East. Colts is going to squeak by against the Titans for the AFC South division. The one that intrigued me the most is AFC West with the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. I got the Chargers winning this one. I know people are going to kill me for this one, but just the Chargers with Justin Herbert in as quarterback. You got Austin Eckler running the ball. You got weapons like Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and then you got new additions like Khalil Mack on defense. I mean, uh, yeah, the Chiefs are looking good and Patrick Mahomes, but the defense doesn't really excite me as much. That they always have to rely on Patrick Mahomes. And once you contain Patrick Mahomes or know his weaknesses, I could see the Chargers winning that one.
Yeah, I actually I sat down and did my predictions for the AFC West. I still have the Chiefs winning the division. It's theirs until further notice, until someone can step up and take it from them. I think the Chargers have the best shot at dethroning them this year. I do have them actually sweeping them this year during the regular season because we got them right out the bat in week 2 on the Thursday
Oh
night,
wow.
right? So short turnaround. They're going to be locked and loaded with a lot of veterans, whereas our secondary is kind of the Chiefs secondary is suspect right now as far as it's a lot of rookies and a lot of young guys in there. Justin Reed's a really good safety. I don't know if he's quite as good as Tyrann Mathieu. We'll see how that plays out. Thornhill, Snead, some of them are going to take a step forward, and also their linebackers. I think they're poised to have one of the best linebacking cores in football this year, between Willie Gay and Nick Bolton. So like I think their defense will come together. I still have them winning the division. I have them at 12-5, and then I have the Chargers at 11-6. So AFC West is going to be brutal though this year, dude. It's and that's why I have all those records really low because those are four of the top 8 teams in the AFC. I mean the
Mm-hmm.
AFC is just loaded. So I mean, half of the top teams come from one division, and this might be the greatest group of quarterbacks in a single division we've probably ever seen, at least in our lifetimes. I know back in the '80s there was some massive, some really heavy ones, but in the early '90s. But yeah, I think this is going to be a bloodbath this year. But I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out. Like I said, until further notice, it's their division, and if they win it this year, they'll be second to only the Patriots in their run throughout the 2010s. So I think they're going to squeak it out, but it's going to be tough, man. The Chargers are locked and loaded. They're a scary team, especially Justin Herbert throwing the ball. Really, their coach
Mm-hmm.
lost it for him last year.
For sure, for sure. But now that we got the division winners predicted, I want to talk about who do you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl this upcoming year? It's going to be held in Glendale, Arizona, where the Cardinals play at. I see that being a trend. Uh, it started out with the Bucks playing in Tampa Bay and winning it there. Then the year after that, you got the Rams winning it in Los Angeles. I could see the Cardinals somehow pulling it out of their behind and winning it this year. But I also got the Los Angeles Chargers that's going to represent the AFC. So it's going to be Chargers versus Cardinals, in my opinion.
Man, that's I got Chiefs Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna be lights out this year, dude.
Mm,
Everybody's nobody. You got to jump on that Hurts train, man. But yeah, like I said, I think the Eagles are locked and loaded. They are deep everywhere you look. They're a scary team, and like they were one of the best rushing attacks in football last year too. So they can slow it down and control the ball when they need to. I think the problem with the Cardinals, they don't have any pass rush, man. They lost Chandler Jones. They don't. JJ Watt's still kind of dealing with some stuff.
yeah.
I don't think it's I think that's going to cost them, and I think they might get too far behind with that loaded. They got a pretty loaded schedule too. The NFC West and AFC West have the hardest schedules in football this year, and so I think Hopkins missing for 6 weeks is going to hurt them pretty bad. We'll have to see if Rondell Moore is going to step up in a big way. But
I know
yeah, I
more
think I
and
think I got the
Hollywood
Chiefs.
Brown.
Chiefs. I can't. The Bills are a little scary. I think we'll be all right. All we need is 13 seconds to beat them. But I think the Chargers are right there.
I just see that trend just going to continue, man. But hey, who knows? We saw the 49ers beating the Packers last season. We saw the Bengals beating the Chiefs to head to the Super Bowl. I mean, we don't like you don't like seeing that, but hey, upsets happen, especially in the NFL. But with that being said, we're
Right.
gonna
And I've
end.
seen a lot of I was gonna say
Go
I've
on,
seen a
go
lot of
on.
people on the 49ers train. You are you buying Trey Lance?
Trey, who?
Yeah, right.
Trey,
Yeah,
Trey,
exactly.
nah,
Yeah,
nah, not
yeah,
at all.
yeah, that guy.
The guy who
Yeah, dude,
couldn't
they
even
signed
start
Garoppolo.
after Garoppolo. No, I can't see that.
Right, right. Them re-signing Garoppolo is a bad look. I think that
Mm-hmm.
shows that they don't have a lot of trust in him, a lot of faith in him. There's like rumors going around that he's still having problems with accuracy, which you didn't see that out of like Herbert. Herbert came in, when Mahomes came in and played a year under Alex Smith. Like you didn't see you didn't see those issues coming up, And he only
Yeah.
had like he's only had like 380 pass attempts since high school. So like, I mean, there's not a big body of work really, and a lot of that was one double A, division, in North Dakota State, up in
Yeah.
the Fargo Dome. So like, yeah, I'm not on the Trey Lance train. I think they'll still make some noise. Like they're the 49ers. They got a deep roster. They'll be good. But yeah, them re-signing Garoppolo is not a good look.